For those of you that don't want to wait the next 30 years to own your home or investment property outright, then this is the video for you. In this video, we're going to share 5 super simple ideas to take you from where you are right now to completely owning your home or investment property in the next 15 years.
Now, the first one's been tried and tested for decades by Australian families, which is just using a simple principal and interest mortgage. And thank you to the Australian government who do offer us some tax benefits as investors. So using these tax benefits to pay off the debt will speed up the debt reduction. And if you're anything like Ben and myself, we love to purchase positive cash flow properties. So funneling that positive cash flow into paying off the debt is another great idea. Now, I'll be honest, the next one isn't my favorite, but it is a must do, which is just paying down a little extra using my income. Now, the fifth one is an optional extra, so not everybody has to do this, but if you really want to speed that up from 15 years to 10 years, and stick around to the end of the video, and we're going to share an example of a partner property and how you can use those capital gains to pay off the debt even faster.
Now, for today's example, to really get into the numbers, I'm going to talk about a property that we're helping one of our clients with at the moment in a regional market in Queensland, which is Townsville.
So if we look at this example up in Townsville, it's about a $750,000 property, and our favorite strategy, going for a house and granny flat to get those 2 incomes that should rent for about $950 per week. And it's a good quality opportunity, you know, really close to the Townsville city, 600 square meter block of land plus, which gets you a 4-bedroom house and a 2-bedroom granny flat on about a 600 or larger square meter piece of land. So walk us through the numbers as to how we can actually pay this off in 15 years.
Beautiful. So let's say it's a $750,000 purchase and you're lucky enough to have a 20% deposit, which means we put about $150,000 cash down, leaving us with $600,000 to pay off over the next 30 years. So if you're anything like me, you don't want to wait the next 30 years to pay this bad boy off. So I'll show you how I would pay off this property in the next 15 years. Now, the first one is principal and interest. And if we just pay the principal and interest, which the bank will want from us anyway, of $200 a week over 15 years, that equals about $150K that we paid off the property straight away. Now, as Simon mentioned before, if we get that tax depreciation schedule, the Australian government is massively encouraging investors to create brand new product right now and giving these depreciation benefits back at tax time. So let's say for the next 15 years, after you've got this new property, that you get your depreciation report and you get about $250 a week in tax benefits over the next 15 years. That results in $195,000 that you can pay off the debt of this property. The third idea is the positive cash flow. So as you own the property, obviously the debt will come down over time and the rent will go up, leaving you a surplus or a positive income each week. Now, let's say that over a 15-year period, this averages another $200 a week or $10,000 a year. Over a 15-year period, we're talking about another $150K that if you capture that surplus money, you can pay straight off the debt. The fourth idea is definitely Simon and mine's least favorite because it requires us actually doing something, and that is paying a little bit extra off the property each week. So again, if you put $200 a week, that's 10 grand a year. For the next 15 years, we've wiped another $150K off the debt of this property. Now, putting these numbers together, we pay $150 of principal and interest, $195 from the tax benefits, $150 from the surplus income, and $150 from the little bit extra we pay each week. That's $645,000 that we paid off this property over a 15-year period, which is actually more than the $600K debt than we had at the start of this exercise.
But if you're still sitting there thinking 15 years is just too long, Simon, I want to speed it up, well then you can look at this other idea by purchasing a partner property. Now let's look at an example of this partner property strategy. Let's assume that you go out there and buy a $600,000 property and you hold it for 10 years in a high capital growth market, getting yourself a 6% compound growth rate. Then you can sell that property in 10 years for about $1,075,000. Now, obviously, we've got to factor in those entry costs, exit costs, and the tax that we have to pay the government. You could be walking away with a whopping $250,000 of extra cash that would allow you to smash down that debt a hell of a lot sooner and hopefully own the property out within 10 years.
Boom, bro.
That's how it's done.
That's how you do it, guys. So it doesn't have to be rocket science. It doesn't have to be super hard to go out there and pay off your investment or your own home. All it comes down to is discipline, consistency, and a plan to achieve it. We wish you all the best on your journey to financial freedom and can't wait to bring more ideas and videos like this to you. If you're thinking about buying an investment property in the next 3 to 6 months, then the team and I at Pumped On Property would love to offer you a one-on-one strategy session. To book the session, all you have to do is go to www.pumpedonproperty.com and click that free strategy session button. Now, in the session, we'll talk about exactly where you are right now, where you'd like to be longer term, and educate you deeply on the Australian property market. You can then take that information and go and absolutely smash it on your own, or potentially become one of the small number of clients that we work with each month. Either way, we look forward to continuing to help you build your property portfolio with confidence on your journey to financial freedom.
Now to look at it, blah, blah, blah. Now to look at an example of Unique New York. Yellow leather, black leather.